Show, a podcast to live their best life. Welcome back, guys. We are going to be talking about Cancer, Sun, and Rising in today's episode horoscope for the upcoming month of March 2023. I want to quickly introduce myself. If you're here for the first time, my name is Ellen Sky. I'm an astrologer and numerologist. I couple the astrology with the degrees. I take a look at all of that. I break it down on the monthly or whatever transit I feel is the most important to talk about. March is undoubtedly going to be a very important month as we are going to kind of move on from some of the transits that have been lingering and sort of unfolding for a while now. For you, Cancer, this pulse of the month is going to be all about religion, beliefs, and thinking bigger. And when we pop up the chart here, what you see is the Cancer rising on the ascendant. And if you know that you're a Cancer rising, this is going to most likely speak to your own chart a bit more accurately, but you can always listen to your sun sign as well. The new moon signifies the pulse of the month for March of 2023 for you guys. That new moon in Pisces is going to unfold in the ninth house. What's the ninth house? The ninth house is religion. It can speak to spirituality, okay? Anything that encompasses religion, beliefs, thinking bigger, the bigger point of view in life. And so there's much more about this house, okay? But we're, of course, trying to narrow it down to making sure that you kind of get sort of a sense for what this house is about. Whenever you have a new moon here, that's what is being highlighted. This is what the pulse of the month is most likely going to be about. Now, the new moon in Pisces is at 1 degree. This is a very interesting new moon in the sense that there is a inspiration that comes through. At 1 degree, we're taking a look at being inspired and becoming faithful. And at the time of this new moon, when this is unfolding, we are going to have a Mercury, Uranus, and Mercury, Mars communication. There is a very particular sort of energy that unfolds that kind of gets you into March, and then things start to pick up. Let's take a look at Mercury and Uranus. Okay, so the new moon is unfolding in your ninth house, and at the time of this new moon, Mercury, which is going to be in your eighth house, is going to form a square to Uranus. Whereas Uranus is in your 11th house. So this has to do with the impacts of your social life, people that are around you, people that are like-minded, or perhaps a time in your life where you are starting to realize that you were part of a group or a network of people, or part of people that sort of thought the way that you did, but your beliefs about this are changing. There's a lot of confusion that is being cleared up and that you are working through at this time, which is what I believe that you are doing. You're trying to figure out the next steps. That's what it looks like from majority of you. The square is about you becoming aware of situations in your life where you used to think a particular way, but maybe also right now in March, you are still working out how some of these things really impact you on a deeper level. The eighth house, whenever you have Aquarius here transiting through the eighth house, this is you thinking about your, life at a deeper level, mortality as well. You are also thinking about commitments. You are thinking about, what the impacts are on you with everything, the meaning of your life at a deep level, and how this also impacts your survival or at some level also finances. And then your commitment and how much you really trust certain aspects in your life. So many of you are working through these beliefs that have changed. Your point of view has changed. The way that you view the world has changed in a way. And there's a part of you that is bringing a lot of mental energy into this sort of theme, or this month looks like there's a lot of mental energy in your mind on a new ambition. When I say mind on a new ambition, that Mercury in the eighth house is going to come into a trine with Mars in the 12th house. And that's where I want to spend some time for you guys. Mars has been in your 12th house for quite some time. This is a very interesting energy for you guys because Mars in the 12th house, that is not an easy transit to go through. It's been here for 7 months. Okay. This is when we're finally going to finish up this transit this month. What is this all about? Well, Mars in the 12th house, like I said, it's not an easy transit for many of you. This is a time where I think you are starting to realize many, many things about your actions and your efforts, okay? Your energy output. Mars is all about the energy output, but Mars also is a planet that can cut things out of your life. And I believe that that is true for many of you out there with Mars in the 12th house. You've been cutting out certain things that used to hold true to you, but you are starting to realize that again, in the bigger picture point of view, things are changing. And why are they changing? Well, you are starting to realize that some kind of effort that you have put through, it's falling into the background, whether you wanted it to fall into the background or not. This is maybe something that you are now finalizing during the month of March of 2023. You're becoming a lot more aware on where you used to be not aware of situations that seemed really normal. It was sort of an unconscious thing that you believed in, that you had faith in. And it was just a routine. It was a part of your life that you, in a way, just it was a routine, a pattern that you acted out, that you were all about. Because when Mars comes out of that 12th house into the first house, that's you coming into a new action plan with yourself. Who you are and what kind of action and what kind of effort you're going to take is changing at this time. And that is what's being highlighted for many of you this month. You are redirecting this aspect of your life. And that is why Mars is now transiting through that, 12th house, kind of showing you how to become a little bit more objective. But at the same time, you are viewing impressions, the impressions that you have maybe, you know, not maybe you have not been aware of impressions that you've left with other people. Okay, there is going to be sort of this identifying of wrong impressions that many of you are going to finalize this month. Something that used to be a little bit confusing, and you have maybe started to grapple with this, something that you've started to realize with other people who were maybe similarly doing something, taking action or putting their effort out with a similar faith-based background or a similar spirituality or similar belief. And now you are starting to realize, okay, so this is a part of me that I feel like I have represented in a way that I didn't want, or it's no longer true. I've created this wrong impression of me with other people. And a lot of this stuff is no longer holding true. So for the last, 6 to 7 months, you may have been in this place where you've been dealing with yourself, confronting this aspect of yourself, and sort of being in a place where almost feels like a timeout to your efforts, a timeout to, really sit back and search a little bit deeper to understand what has happened with some of the impressions that you've left. And this time is coming to an end this month. Okay. On the 19th is when Mars is going to start to move into your first house, and things are going to be very different at that time. But at that time, also, you will become a lot more clear about how you actually feel. And a new sense of feeling is coming through in regards to your spirituality, in regards to impressions, in regards to your faith and the meaning. There's sort of a correlation to all of this, in the bigger picture. So any kind of normal routine that you've had, that is falling away. Mars is cutting that out. You are undoing this part of your life, and you are starting to dive into a different aspect about yourself. And that is what majority of this month, I believe, is going to be about. Now, mid-month, the last transit, the last highlight of Mars is going to be from March 15th through the 17th, and sometimes a couple days before, a couple days after, because the transits apply. So we could say it's probably going to be the whole week, where the Sun and Mars, okay, the Sun in your 9th house and Mars in the 12th house are going to come into a square at 26 degrees. Sun Mars squares can be about overcoming something. That's an upswing in energy. We have to put now an effort forth because we have to complete something. There is an influence in our life that we have to kind of deal with, we have to overcome. And for many of you, this will have to do with your beliefs, with the bigger picture, and you really confronting a part in your life that was just very confusing, or it has become confusing. And so a part of you, this is like the last sort of stretch of this undoing, that you are having to figure out what this is with yourself, something that used to maybe feel a little bit even unconscious. It can always go back into the past, but with this new moon in Pisces and the pulse that we're taking a look at and how the month is unfolding, this is going to be about overcoming and really stepping into a new faith in yourself and in your efforts. This can be a time where I would definitely recommend avoid confrontations with other people if you can. You want to avoid them because there is something else that you will discover as this energy sort of unleashes and eases up. So you want to kind of keep yourself grounded during this time. This is a time for many of you. Whenever we take a look at the 12th house, this is about you. This is about you just really taking a look at situations head on with yourself and why maybe tension builds up within yourself and within your faith. And it could correlate, because it's 26 degrees, it could correlate with the faith of other people as well, right? You might not be in agreement with what other people are doing. And so as a result, you want to take action. You want to kind of shine light on that. You maybe want to communicate something that you feel very, very strongly about. But I do want to caution everybody, in particular with this transit, for you guys, because this is a time where you should only focus on maybe what you need to do for yourself, where you need to come to a new compromise within yourself and ease up that tension. The 12th house is a house of seclusion. It's a house where, we can only work things out within ourselves. Of course, sometimes we need the help of other people, but this has to do with our own faith and own personal conversation that we're having within ourselves. This is about us, our hidden parts of us, the stuff that we sometimes can't even put into words. And because you have also Mercury transiting through that 8th house, this is a deeply impactful, time for you to just get some clarity and understand where the burdens and the tensions are being created in your life that then sort of clash with your faith and your spirituality. All in all, what do I believe that this month is going to be all about for you guys? This is a time that I think that you're learning a lot about your own patterns that have become unconscious, understanding them. And maybe there's nothing to do about it. Maybe there's also nothing to justify about that. There's a part of you that may come to terms now with you making room for a new inspiration or a new part about you that needs to come out. It's very different, and you're letting an old idea go, an old part of you, an old belief and a faith that used to be a part of you. But there has been maybe some setbacks around that. You have learned what you needed to learn. There have been experiences, and now you can take this experience. And as Mars moves into your first house, you are now able to bring this experience forth and share it with other people. And again, it doesn't even have to be a part of you, but it could be a possibility for you to explore now new options and creating space for new ideas, new ways in which you are wanting to leave an impression with other people. And I believe that that is the opportunity this month, is learning these types of currencies and these types of energies about yourself. And that's what I see for many of you that are Cancer, Sun, or Rising. I always love hearing from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what is happening and unfolding for you guys, and how this month is sort of, unfolding for you, and the experiences that you're having. I always love hearing from you guys. And I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye.